Yeah. This is like a really, really scary game. Like a really big, very real Jumanji game. So, well, let's just go back to the days of Jesus. So the wise men put those little containers of things in front of Jesus. Those containers were very, very expensive back then. It was beautiful, amazing things that were good for the therapeutics of baby Jesus. But the point, when you're adding up the game of Jumanji life like this, the point is that the wise men brought wealth, and that pumped wealth into a planet that was not doing very well financially. So when the wise men brought unlimited, amazing wealth, because, okay, what the wise men brought, I don't know how to spell this out, but what the wise men brought was like the equivalent of like somebody who has $1 trillion giving you a couple billion. With gods, you don't have to give them the whole trillion, because gods only take a chunk of whatever you have and call that generosity anyway. So the wise men paid a very pretty penny of what they had for what they brought to baby Jesus. That brought oceans of wealth to a planet that was kind of struggling. And it was pretty exciting, right? Kinda. And then everybody that brought a bunch of animals shitting and made sure Jesus had to be born there brought a lot of bad things to earth. So even though they got more money, they got more shit to deal with. Except the ones that loved Jesus and did pretty much only good and didn't want anything to do with bad things. Now, look what happens to the person who wants to be good and pretty much not do bad things. They get all the wealth and all the good stuff from what Jesus gets and none of the bad shit. So now every human on this planet who fucks up, is abusive, is gross by nature, now wants to hate Jesus and all the good people. See, a lot of reality is just predictable, but you don't realize it. Bad people don't live in good spiritual things, and they know it. So they get really hateful and spiteful towards children of God and good people that have a lot of excessive, like, stability and spoiling through the power of God from being so good and shit. It makes them want to kill them. Because they're gross. No, they go to hell one day. It doesn't matter. They should be bad people that just need to die and fuck off. And that's why I harp and harp and harp on just live on my queen, my queen, my queen. Make sure you're good with God once a day, and just goddamn don't make any bad decisions and don't look back to anything bad. I mean, this stuff really is a Jumanji game. It's not fun when gods have been abused or mistreated. It's not fun when you've done something bad towards a god or a heaven. It becomes not fun. Because, like, wasn't it so exciting when you thought about the wise men bringing such wealth? And because they honored with Jesus with such big wealth, it brought so much wealth to a world. And doesn't it sound so magical and wonderful? And then in 2 seconds, bad people and bad devils made it gross and bad. And that's what happens in everything all the time. It's not just a shelter where you notice that when homeless or bad people go into the shelter, it's all gross and bad and disgusting. And they're mostly a drain on society, existence, and everything else. From their bad spiritual punishments to the fact that they're bad people that just drain everything and more. When you open a shelter and you help homeless or down and out people that are very, very kind, good people, it's like everything you did to help them really made a difference and mattered. Because they're good people. And the beauty of spiritual good is helping them to do better anyway at the shelter. But they're also not a drain or a problem or a disgusting thing you have to deal with or put up with. They're more of like something that wants to help themselves. In a shelter, you want to help them, and it all works out better. And throughout time and history, people people get abused, people become victims, and they create non-profit shelters. And then they get sick to their stomach and say, why did I want to help anybody? And it's because bad people are gross and ruin it for everybody else. And a bad criminal loser, homeless person or down and out person or person in bad times wants to bring their spiritual bad shit and their gross bad fucking mentalities and shit. And they're like a gross abuse drain loser. They're like a constant loser thing you have to put up with. And that's why the United States and Dubai try to make me seem like a constant thing you have to put up with. If you pay attention, no, you don't. I wouldn't even want to know anybody. The United States and Dubai sit on top of my death, abuse my death, and then blame me as if they're so over-extenuated giving a shit about something. No, all they do is murder and abuse the death of God, and he did die for it. They weren't anything else, and no one even wanted to know anything. But that's how life goes. Now, the United States and Dubai refuse to stop sitting on top of my death, especially because they know from bad, evil forces that it just makes everything and everyone's life worse, and everything gets worse, and it brings spiritual multitudes of bad things. So they're not going to stop doing it. But every time you touch anything bad, it's a really bad thing. So if you touch the 666, your life goes down the drain pretty much overnight or within hours. And it's just the way life goes. And a husband wants to say, I'm a husband and I want to give a shit about you, and now I've lost everything. Hey, I didn't tell you to fuck up. And I didn't tell you to give a shit about God and stop listening to God until you fucked up. So no, you wanted to get up like a preacher, pretend to be God, do it your own way, fuck up, and live at the mercy of very bad 666 and bad spiritual forces. You have to get up, hold on to God's and I, do it right, and only be good and do good. Or bad is all that was ever going to happen. Very powerfully and scary and bad. Now, when it comes to the whole world is just in a spiritual bubble, forced into whatever they deserve, which could be a lot of things. But like, I understand that the more you guys get smart, the more you get scared. Yeah. But it's too late now. You can't change anything. I don't know how to help you guys. There was once a husband. There was once a husband that was a husband candidate. And he was convinced by his girlfriend to do rape and murder related sickening shit in my direction. And then he wanted to give me money to try to save or help himself. And I said, I'm sorry, your money's no good here. You created crime against the death of God. You're not a husband anymore. You're something I don't even want to explain, but your money's no good with God anymore. You can't do something nice in God's direction to try to backpedal or 360 anything you've done. You can't change how this thing works. You just have to be the best good, power of good, doing good, and survive and get out and live on. And there is nothing else, and everything bad will always just devastate and drown everything. There's nothing you guys can do. There's people fucking up and getting killed, altered, shit up their ass, all kinds of shit everywhere. The only thing you guys can sit and focus on is that at least, thank God, everyone's taking something serious finally. That's like the biggest victory we have got, starting from zero and coming up from nothing. For a while, the United States and Dubai were winning like it was nothing because I had to win ultimately. So everything they were doing was misleading or accomplishing. For a while, the United States and Dubai were backed by gods that were murdering and stuff. They were backed by the power of God doing gross or bad things. This is all hell breaking loose. This is all bad shit that could possibly ever happen. And a bunch of good giants trying to fucking turn this into something good for the good people while the dead just start drowning off. Good luck is all I can do, because good luck is all you can ever do or say. I mean, all I can do is harp and harp and harp to stay connected to my queen, and good gods, and do the right thing that they say. And make sure you're right with God every day. I mean, like, I don't know how to help you guys. And I understand that the smarter you all get, the scarier this all gets. Welcome to You Should Never Do Anything But Good Things in the Direction of Heavens. Well, like, it's too late for that now.